Hey gang, I am Jay, welcome to Homemade Heroes. There's been a lot of buzz around recently surrounding the LEGO D&D minifigure series, and I've created a couple of videos on that topic myself. But it got me to thinking, I wonder why they didn't create the LEGO minifigures connected to the Honor Among Thieves D&D movie. That movie came out last year, and the relationship between LEGO and Dungeons & Dragons has been around since, I believe it's 2022, when they first put out a call for people to submit their own creations, their mocks. Mock stands for My Own Creation. And people submitted their Dungeons & Dragons mocks, which ended up with us getting the Red Dragon's Tail set. So given that they've had this relationship, I'm curious as to why they didn't do a, say, minifigure series or a set connected to Honor Among Thieves. But as I like to do, if there isn't something that exists already, well, I decide to make it. So this is my take on the main characters from Honor Among Thieves, the Dungeons & Dragons movie. I'm going to be going through the images and stat blocks of the main characters on D&D Beyond. So let's get started with our first character, which is Doric. So as you can see here, I've created my version of Doric. She has the red hair, which I think connects really well to the actor and character from the movie. We've got kind of a green and brown body here, which is very similar to her image to the left, and you can see this is a pretty good resemblance with the notable lack of the horns, as Doric is a tiefling druid. So unfortunately I don't have a red-headed hairpiece that has horns. I could have substituted for something else. I have a blonde hairpiece with horns, but I wanted to stick with the orange because I think this really makes it look like the character. And of course, Doric in the movie, when we first meet Doric, she is in the form of an owlbear. And so this is the owlbear that I created, which is Doric's one of Doric's wild shape forms. Now, if you are a Dungeons & Dragons fan, you'll know that druids cannot actually wild shape into owlbears, as they are not a natural animal. And our next character is the main character of the movie, and that is Edgin Darvis. Here is my version of Edgin. As you can see, he has his lute. I use a dwarven torso here from Lord of the Rings, and I think that's come up pretty well. Maybe not flamboyant enough for Edgin, who is a somewhat rakish character. He is the leader of the party in the movie, and is a human bard. I do really like the hairpiece here. I think it really fits Edgin well. The face is maybe a little young looking, but I think this has kind of come together pretty well. Our third character is Forge Fitzwilliam. Forge Fitzwilliam is a bit of a scoundrel, a roguish type. He doesn't actually come with a class specified in his stat block, which is a little unusual, but some of the characters don't have a specified class. I would consider that he is probably I would suspect that he is probably a rogue, but not your typical kind of stealth, dagger and cloak type rogue. More of a confidence man type rogue, tricking people with words and flattery as opposed to stealing from them directly and stabbing them in the back. The body that I've used here is from Albus Dumbledore in the Harry Potter LEGO series, and you can see that that is quite similar to that jacket that he wears in the D&D Beyond image there. The hair is maybe not quite right, it kind of needs to be brown and grey, and the face is not bad. I do think that this has turned out rather well. And of course he has the crossbow, which he uses late in the movie. Our next character is one of our core party, and this is Holger Kilgore. I wasn't able to find an exact match, surprise, surprise, for her clothing, but I think the studded leather armor there is a reasonable version of what she's wearing. She has some furs on her leggings, which I think connects rather well to the image, and the face and hairpiece are a great combination. They really work well and look a lot like the hair of the character itself. The axe there is just a little build that I created myself. It's not amazing, but I think it does the job. Our next character is Simon Almar. Oh, and I should say Holger Kilgore is a human but doesn't have a class. I picture her as a fighter. I thought maybe she was a barbarian, but in her stat block she doesn't have the ability to rage. So that means she's definitely not a barbarian, and fighter seems the most obvious next option. So Simon Almar, who is a humanoid, I think that Simon is probably a half-elf, or at least has some elf ancestry, because on his stat block he can't be put to sleep, and he is apparently the descendant of Elminster Almar and an elf. So you can see the Lego version. The face here is not a great depiction, as seems to have a worried look on his face a lot of the time. But I think everything else is pretty good. We've got a little satchel here. We've got a cape. We've got the hither thither staff. You can see I've kind of got some glowing blue pieces on the top there. And the in his right hand he's holding a device, which it's just a little printed Lego piece. You can see that on his belt in the image from D&D Beyond. Our second to last character is Pufino, a red wizard of Thay, and she is a necromancer. Her class is wizard, and she is a human. For this here, I've used the same piece that I used in one of my other videos, which has Sass Tam in it. That's the Lego D&D minifigure series. So I've used the same body piece. It's a long red robe, which I thought worked really well, a red cape, and then a great face piece there, and also the red horn in her left hand, which is a key item in the movie. I won't say too much about it in case you haven't seen the movie. And our last of the main characters is Zenk Yendar. Zenk is a human paladin who was originally from the land of Thay. And this is the Lego version of Zenk. You can see I've got a pretty cool breastplate piece there, an awesome sword. That's a really cool long sword. And he's kind of got that bearded look, short black hair, and somewhat armored leggings there. Those are the main characters from Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves. However, I think there deserves to be an honorable mention, and that honorable mention is my favorite character from the movie, and a center point of comedy, and that, of course, is Jonathan the Aarakocra. So this is my build of Jonathan the Aarakocra, who is a kind of a judge or magistrate in the prison that Edgin and Holger are in at the start of the movie. That's it for today, folks. A pretty quick little video there, but hopefully you enjoyed seeing the minifigures that I created of the characters of Honor Among Thieves, the Dungeons & Dragons movie. If you haven't seen that movie, go ahead and watch it. It's a really fun watch, and I can definitely recommend it. Thanks for watching today, folks, and farewell for now.